And then she shat on a turtle.
Alright.
Remember the days of the 6s and
Are we
7s?
ready? Do you want to be ready? Do we want to pretend to be ready?
I'm always pretending to be ready.
Okay.
Fake it till you make it.
Alright.
That's true.
Hello and welcome again to the Odyssey Campaign. Yay. I am your Dungeon Master, Sam. Normally I play Havoc, but once again I'm behind the screen. To my left
is Morgan playing Morgrim.
My name is Chris, I'm playing Zool.
Joe is once again playing the one and only Atlas.
Zach playing time traveling Riff.
And I'll be playing Volley.
Yay, alright. So when we last left our heroes, they had taken the dying body of Havoc from the city of Angawith to Porta Nova, the capital city of the area. They brought him to the Temple of Psyche and underwent several trials to cure his mind and soul of whatever was afflicting it. And they succeeded in saving him and then got some magic items for their trouble. And they're now within the city of Porta Nova. And they found lodgings at an inn in the Soaks, I believe, and a little bit of last-minute shopping occurred. But basically, everybody's had a full rest, if they would like. Spell slots are fresh. Health returns as per normal. And Havoc is once again walking about, though he does seem a bit subdued and pensive, considering all that's happened to him. And the sun will rise upon the city of Porta Nova. The giant spur of the upper city, casting a shadow like a sundial over the city. And I will open up to anyone who would like to do anything. You're all upstairs in your rooms, and with the exception of Zool, who is not here at the moment. He will be entered in a little bit later, hopefully soon. What's everybody's morning routines like? I guess. Oh, and
I was gonna say, is he around or no?
He was always here.
God damn.
Who's he?
He being Griff. Just sort of slowly fades into reality.
It's like a door appears and he just walks through. Shuts the door and the door
the precise outline of the door appears and then he walks through it.
Yeah.
Oh, the hourglass. I'm wearing an hourglass.
Yeah. It's just like you just come out.
It's like an elevator. It's just an hourglass that rises up, and then he walks out of the hourglass, and then it goes back down into the earth or something.
What's up?
What am I thinking of from Family Guy where he's like raising his body and then he goes back down? Fine, I'll figure it out.
All right. So who wakes up first?
That would be
like
me.
this?
At
Early
probably 4 in the morning, I'm going to cock-a-doodle-doo as loud as possible.
God.
Aren't you a girl?
I don't care. Into each and every single one of my teammates' rooms.
Oh, in everybody's rooms, you're gonna wake them up by crowing. Okay.
It's morning.
Dick move.
Do you knock before you crow, or do you like slam the door open and crow? Or do you like just crow outside the door?
I was gonna say, I'm assuming we're all in the same hallway.
Yeah,
so I would just
there's like a hall, yeah.
I'll like on my microphone and just
like a megaphone.
Yeah.
Good thing she doesn't know fermentation.
Oh boy. Yeah. So those of you who are asleep are awakened to the sound of a shrill crow, crowing, and you can react in various states of panic or same shit as always as you please.
I go back to sleep.
Okay, alright. Volley will remain asleep.
If it was a 1, I was gonna get out and yell at her. It was one or the other.
So you roll a natural 20 and you just go back to sleep?
I went back to sleep.
He was able to sleep through the darkness.
I was like, it didn't bug me enough apparently.
He passes his will save.
I just kind of go.
Will save versus annoyance. Right,
It's gonna be my only 20 of the day right there, guys.
Hippocampus Mindblade has joined us.
He was awoken by the crow.
Yeah, perhaps he was. Alright, Havoc will throw open the door, and say something to the effect of, "Do you mind? It's 4 a.m. It's dark out, and I just had a very rough week."
It's time to go. We're in Porta Nova.
Go where? We're in Porta Nova.
I have flyers to hand out.
Then go hand out the flyers. And he will close the door. Not quite slamming it in your face, but you can tell frustratedly.
Are we on the second floor? Are there people below us?
Yeah, there's a second floor, and you notice that several other people have opened doors and started shouting at you. Like,
no, dude.
Most of them have hangovers, you know. Yeah. So, I'm assuming that you found lodging with the rest of the group? Maybe?
Sure.
Alright. Then you've been awakened by a loud crowing in the hallway
At 4 in the morning.
at 4 a.m.
I poked my head out the door.
Yeah, it's Morgan, and she's being told off by everybody else. Except for Volley. Volley's asleep, and I don't know what Atlas is doing just yet.
You don't know what Atlas is doing in his room.
No one knows.
I'm not gonna check.
He's 170 years old. He's been awake all He's awake. Old people wake up early, man.
That's true.
That is kind of those
That
things.
is true. Sometimes. Sometimes they sleep in.
I'm gonna get ready.
Alright,
I'm gonna get up, get ready,
Good.
going. No time like the present.
Haha. Because he could be in the past at any moment.
Right.
Alright.
Dr. Camps goes back to bed.
Right.
You have to roll a natural 20 to do that.
Yeah. Sorry, I set the bar.
In order to do anything ever again, you need to roll a natural 20. Yeah.
I will never roll.
That seems fair and balanced.
To perform mundane. But you notice as you do them extraordinarily. 8. Nope.
Almost.
No, you're fine.
Fucking bird's annoying. Sorry, that beeping bird is.
Not yet. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
It's in post anyway.
Yeah, we don't have to bleep ourselves. That would make
That would be stupid.
I wish we could throw that fucking bang noise into the.
So, Zool, you are. I'm just gonna put you someplace. All right. You are walking the streets at 4 a.m. Keeping an eye out for any interesting characters, and you notice a group of 2 town's guards, accompanied by a wizard and a golem, moving through the streets in brusque fashion.
Well, Zool, I kind of step back and just kind of watch. Are they passing by me? Or are they?
Yeah, they're passing by you. They're in the street.
I'm gonna just kind of stand back, watch them go by me, and kind of start to follow them.
All right.
Like, you know, this can be
Not
interesting.
creepy
This
at
is
all.
a pretty mundane place right now, but this is the most interesting thing that's gonna happen. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go see what's going on.
Whereabouts in Porta Nova can we find Zool?
Well,
Right
he's on the way. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I mean,
So he in the town. He's currently hanging out on the border of the Soaks, and you notice that near here, even at this early in the morning, that there is a guy with a little stand set up. The stand is right next to a plinth with an anvil on top, and piercing through the anvil into the plinth is a sword of ancient design. And behind that is a gouge going down the middle of the street, as if this plinth has slid down the street.
Wow. Okay, so I think my mundane life, or my mundane little time of nothing really interesting going on, is about to end. I see. What? So it's a
little dais.
anvil?
It's a little dais with an anvil on top, and then there's
Does
a
he
sword
live
going through
in
both.
Porta Nova?
No, I just kind of travel around.
Okay, so I was gonna say, like, he's got like this mundane life in the most interesting city in the world.
I'm going to the most interesting city in the
I was
world.
about to say.
About 2 or 3 days ago, he arrived via ship.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Porta Nova probably is the most interesting.
Literally the most, like, every day shit happens.
Yeah.
It's like Spider-Man.
That's what attracted me here.
We're in the lower bad part.
You're in the Soaks. You're in the worst part of the city. The Soaks,
That's
which
why
is
our rooms were so cheap.
so the upper city is on a cliff that overhangs part of the lower city,
Mirror
and
Bomb
beneath
having
the
such a
overhang
good
is
sleep.
called the Soaks. Beneath the river, which goes along the base of this cliff, there's geothermal vents. So the Champagne River bubbles and sort of hisses steam.
So is it like the top part and then the soaks and then it goes down to other stuff?
No, so there's a cliff, right? that overhangs part of the lower city. The lower city is all on the same plane, and there's just sort of an overhang.
Gotcha.
And the river.
So we're like right at the cliff.
Yeah, so
we're
we're underneath the cliff at the moment. And it's called the soaks because the steam that rises from the river condenses on the bottom of the cliff and then rains down. So it's always damp here.
So I'm walking by, I'm seeing what you had just described, the anvil, and I'm like, if they're running towards something, something's going on.
Yes.
It's because...
Well, they're walking briskly. They're not really running.
It was, does it look fresh? This,
the gouge?
anvil? Yeah.
No, this looks like it's been here for a very long time. Long enough for a dwarf at this point, to have set up a stand with a hat, and he's trying to call over passerbyers to try and pull the sword out of the stone, which he apparently seems to own. But, that may or may not be the case.
Alright. Well, I'm just gonna follow these guards. I got nothing else going on.
All
Came to the city for something interesting.
So you ignore his calls in your direction to come pull the sword out of the stone. Merely a gold piece.
Merely
Merely a
I
gold piece.
appreciate
He's
that
fancily
kind of
dressed, so the price goes up.
Wasn't it like I was going to say? Wasn't it like a
silver
silver?
piece yesterday.
Yeah.
This dude's balls.
Was it? He's fancily dressed. Wasn't the other dwarf just like
No.
a bum? Oh, he is. Gotcha.
Zool is fancily dressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is an elf of regal complexion and paraphernalia.
So now we have two fancy dressed people.
Ooh.
Well, there's two, or at the very least, there's two fancy dressed people in the town. We don't know what's going to happen to Zool yet.
Is it still 4 a.m. right now?
Yes. It's still 4 a.m.
Alright, I'm still
and multiple people in this slummy tavern whose name I don't have yet.
Slummy tavern.
Slummy tavern.
Yeah,
the slummy.
Slumty.
the Soaktown Slum, we'll call it. Soaktown Slum. Write that down.
STUS.
Yeah, actually, the Slopetown Dump. How about that?
STD.
And some people go downstairs and start drinking even now, it's kind of a seedy, rundown place.
And if you live there,
So I'm in a little bit of a rough neighborhood. Right
Yeah,
now.
you're in a very rough neighborhood, and
So I'm in the right spot. If I want to see something that's not just someone trying to collect a gold piece, apparently to pull a sword out of stone. Besides that, I'm in the right area.
Yeah, and there's also guards about to do some police action.
Yeah. It's like Saturday night watching cops.
Yeah.
But in real life.
Bad boys.
You're sweaty watching.
The perk thought he could get away, but this level 6 lightning bolt would say otherwise.
Alright, so those of you back in the
When we make it
STD.
big, we're making it
So those of you back at the STD who wish to be awake, what do you do here in this little
Well, I'm just gonna
gross
get
tavern?
packed up and grab a breakfast because I'm going to the upper town. I'm gonna get in.
Some high hopes right there, son.
Wow.
So Griff is
Have
down.
some
He's
cojones.
down. He's got his breakfast. And,
Yeah.
He's dressed inconspicuously.
Yeah.
He's sort of just got not Griff. I'm not talking about Griff. I'm talking about Atlas.
I was gonna say, why are you?
I
I was like, why are you telling me what I'm doing?
I was going
Tell
to
me how
impress
I-
your character.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to.
Yeah,
My guy's downstairs.
I just wanted to see where this was going. I was like, I can move the screen right over to the other side of the table.
Oh man, a mid game switch. That'd be good. That'd be fun.
We had it planned once and we never did it.
Yeah, no. But so Atlas, rather, he's just sort of got like breeches and like a white shirt on. He's not dressed to the nines like he usually is.
Yeah.
And he's downstairs. He's got his food and he's rolling up cigarettes and these large tobacco leaves as well.
Yeah.
And he sees Griff come down, right? Because
Griff comes downstairs to get breakfast.
He's got like the whole.
Friend, where have you been?
Somewhere in time.
Somewhere in time.
Somewhere in
So-
time. Do I know where I was?
Where you were previously was, we'll say, the last ice age. You were just wandering around like in the freezing cold.
Looks like you got a little bit of frostbite there.
And you may have accidentally started the human race.
Weird. Fuck the monkey. Apparently.
They taught this monkey how to make fire. It's crazy.
Actually, yeah. I had spark, so I made a fire in the cold, and these monkeys all huddled around me, and I was chilling out.
Yeah, it was like something
They
like
made me their
2001, 2001 Space Odyssey. Yeah.
Am I Jesus Christ?
Is this how it starts? Write this down.
Well, as we all know, Jesus Christ does exist in this world. He is the God of swearing to God.
When I threw the Dispel Magic potion, it sucked me into a time vortex, because that's what happens to me.
A lot.
And I was in the Ice Age for a little bit, made a fire, hung out with some monkeys, and then I was able to come back after a day of rest, able to use my spell moves again.
You can see after he was he's sitting over like this mystery meat, and he sort of just stops cutting the meat in the middle of your story, and you can see this expression on his face that looks like he's odd. You know,
you're like perplexed.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time, but he's never heard someone tell a
I'm
story.
gonna try to pick up one of your cigarettes.
One of the cigars or the cigarettes?
Whatever you were just rolling.
I guess I was rolling the cigars.
Cigars?
Yeah, they're like these big leaves, about the size of a sheet of paper, and they're rolled up.
Sure. And they're covered in arcane marks.
Yeah.
All right. Are you gonna stop him?
No. Don't like that in here.
In here?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Hang on to it though.
Cool. You can put it in my pocket.
All right. You now have one cigar of Cloud Kill.
Cloud Kill?
Yeah.
God, I really hoped he was gonna light it in there.
If you light it, take a breath, and exhale, you can fill one square, 1 5-foot square, with Cloud Kill.
Wow.
What is Cloud
You're
Kill?
generous.
It's a
He
spell
takes a big
that's rather dangerous.
10? Cool.
Anywho, what have I missed on my adventures?
Well, Havoc almost died.
Okay, expected. Karma will get you. He killed the mayor.
You burned down his house, so something's coming for you.
I went back in time.
I got put in a cold area. It was
He
payment.
caused damage with fire, and then he caused aid with fire. You know?
Yeah, I covered us up.
Right. Right.
Anywho, I'm off to the upper town.
You see, Alice's like merry expression on this brand new morning vanishes in an instant. You know, you go uptown. You can't go there.
Why not?
Well, one, they're not going to let you in
Sure they will.
because you're just a hobo vagrant. And two, there's some real bad shit up there.
Like what?
The mages.
But the mages is who I want to see.
They're not going to let you up there.
We'll have to find out.
Oh.
Only time will tell.
Good luck with that. I'm telling you.
The door slams open, and 2 guards, a wizard, and then breaking the frame, an iron golem squeeze into the common room of the tavern.
Wait, they just broke
as they go through, the mage turns around and casts mending.
Do I hear the door get broken?
You can make a perception check. You went back to sleep.
Sleep.
I think I heard.
That's pretty good. What's the
18
total?
plus my perception.
Which is
I gotta find it. Give me a second.
At 4th level, you
Or 22.
22.
I'm over 20.
It's over 20. You probably do. Yeah. There's a commotion downstairs.
Okay.
Um,
I wake
As
up
we walked in?
and I start actually just getting myself together at this point.
A couple of guards, a mage, and a golem.
Walk into a bar. Nah. Alright, I'm just
Well,
I don't open the door or anything. I just at this point I'm like, this is the second.
You're upstairs in a room.
Well, no, but instead of me opening the door to come look down or anything, I'm just gonna start. At this point, I'm pissed off. I got woken up again. I'm just gonna start actually picking up my shit, preparing myself for the day.
it's now 4:02.
Putting on my
It's now 4:02.
yeah. I gave up pretty quickly after that whole fucking birds. And
So the wizard,
Alice is going to make a knowledge local check to see if he knows this wizard.
he does.
Okay.
'Cause this wizard swaggers forward towards you, flanked by the guards, and he says, "Well. If it isn't Atlas." I forgot to ask. Were you publicly discharged, or just sort of surreptitiously discharged from the school?
It wasn't public. It was
Okay.
like the Grandmaster
Yeah.
and me. So whatever this guy's heard is a rumor of that event.
Yeah. Well. Is
But
it?
it wasn't. It's not nice.
Well. Let me just say the line. If it isn't brown nose Atlas, still bearing the weight of the world on your shoulders, he thinks that's funny.
Atlas like spins in his bar stool. Yeah. And then like he sort of catches himself and stares down this wizard. Do I recognize him? I recognize him.
Yeah, this is Reynold. He's a bit of an asshole and not that great of a student, which is why he's assigned to guard duty.
I'd like to say that Dr. Hippocampus has come down and witnessing this.
He is
stay in the night.
over 70 years old, as are most graduates of the.
Is he a human?
No, he's probably a half elf, I would say. So he's getting up there, and he's spent most of his life in education and done nothing useful with the rest of it. So he's talking down to you, but really, you're better than him in every way, and you know it because you're Atlas Blue. And he swaggers over, thinking that he's tough shit, and he says, "What was that maneuver you and your posse pulled the other day, running through security without stopping like any normal citizen would? How big are your boots getting, huh?"
They're the same size. They've been the same size for the past 150 years or so.
He's not clever enough to think of retort, so he just sort of like leans back. He's like, "Well, still gotta pay the toll to get into the city, even if you didn't pay it at the door. You know that there's no toll; you just need to register it."
Pay the troll
You gotta
toll.
pay the troll toll.
He rubs his fingers at you, and the iron golem looms behind him rather threateningly, and the two guards pose.
Oh, when did they start charging a toll to get in?
Yesterday.
Right about now.
And how much is this toll?
What do you got on you?
What have I got? I got my shoes. You were interested in those earlier, weren't you?
No, but I'll take that cigar case.
The cigars or the cigarettes?
The lot.
All of it?
Yeah.
Oh. I know, you can't have it.
Well, then we're gonna have a problem, aren't we?
Dr. Hippocampus.
And he will attempt to intimidate you. He got a natural 20. So, like, the guards, like, begin to pull swords from their belts, and the iron golem menacingly creaks its knuckles. What would you like to do?
He walks up with a little notebook.
I missed this.
Looking at this situation. So, a teenage half-elf.
No, he's like
80.
That's like teenage for half-elf.
No, it's middle age.
It's middle age.
It's probably actually elder.
I'm pretty sure the definition of teenage is less than 20 years old, greater than 11?
That's humans. But
Yeah, teen.
Going
As in, like, the
forward.
numbers are the teens.
let me change this.
Well, it could be his perception of it.
A middle-aged,
That's young.
balding half-elf.
He doesn't look good. He's got a bit of a paunch. He's an ugly man.
Middle-aged, balding half-elf.
Are you saying this out loud?
I'm saying this out loud. Has large superiority complex. Feels inferior to older, more experienced adults. It seeks to intimidate using force. Kind of narcissistic.
He's got your number and all. The doctor's got your number.
Break their legs. Would you like to roll for initiative? Or would you like to pay the toll?
You just see Zool in the doorway just kind of like...
Yeah.
This is better than the sword giving.
makes
Popcorn. He's throwing it onto his face.
Makes empty threats that cannot be followed through.
Ooh. I would like you to make a intimidate check back, Adam. And you can get a +5 circumstantial bonus for it. Because that's some fire you just spat.
Oh, intimidate,
Come
please.
on, 20.
6. +5.
6 plus 5 is 11. And he's... So it's his hit die plus his base attack bonus or something like that?
If it doesn't
And he's a wizard, so he's got like a 2 base attack bonus, and he's got like 3 hit die, so you still beat him. Because this guy's a coward. He talks the big talk, but he can't back the walk. And you're right, there is nothing he can really do here. It's
I
like,
snap my book closed.
push your glasses a little further onto the bridge of your nose, and just fold your arms, and he's like, fine. You win this round, Paladin.
You know, Renault, you were never very good at making friends. I, on the other hand, am quite good at making friends. You should try changing your attitude.
Fuck you, Atlas. And they all storm out, and he doesn't mend the door as the golem goes through on the way out. So Griff just sidearms and mending into the door frame. And the bartender just looks at and nods. And is like, you can have breakfast free. So Zool is at the door, and he just watched this all go down, and he just saw like quite an intimidating group of government officials get talked down to and like handily dismissed by two strange. Are you a half elf, Hippocampus?
I am.
By a half elf, a sylph, and a human.
So,
and somewhere there's a very loud squawking upstairs.
At that point, I might be yelling at you. At that point, I might be yelling at you. So I finally have gotten dressed, and I'm like,
Volley and Havoc like come down the stairs with Morgan strung between them. And they toss her out the door like, "Go put up your effing flyers."
No, wait. Could I alter that just a little bit?
Sure.
Have you guys ever seen a chickadee go downstairs before?
When you're
oh
hopping,
my god!
like on 2 feet.
I would like to just hop down each stair all the way in.
It's like I'm talking to a dog. Get down the fucking stairs.
And then, like, you know how chickens will get all ruffled?
Yeah. Like there's feathers everywhere.
There's like this poor dude who was actually trying to go upstairs that just got like caught in the feathers.
So I walk in, and Zool walks in, and he's like, "Well, that was a little interesting. So outlaws or just bad guards?"
Oh, those guys are just dicks.
Yeah, they look like dicks.
Guys are kind enough to mend the door. What are you guys doing here?
Well, we came into town to save our friend. He points to Havoc, who's storming back up to the room.
No, Havoc stays down.
Oh,
Yeah, we're both coming. All three of us, I guess, are coming down at that point.
So I look over and be like, "He doesn't look bad."
Oh my!
This is a man with gray skin, covered in scars.
Oh, okay.
It's not pretty.
He's still wearing a white undershirt that's been sort of permanently stained with blackish blood.
Oh, in that case, I'm like, you've been to Ring Around once before, have you?
More than my fair share, yeah.
More than your fair share?
He's also a hobgoblin.
Yeah, I'm also a hobgoblin.
So
terrifying.
Kind of something that you usually would kill.
Yeah, they're not something very common in this
as
part of the world.
Even though I'm a war priest, I'm still part of a cleric. So what I do is I don't kill things unless they try to attack me.
All right. Well,
anyway,
I don't know if you needed to declare that.
that was part of that. That was out of character.
I'd like to just like lean in and be like, believe it or not, we were successful. And lean back out.
Successful with what?
In actually saving you.
Oh, yeah.
Your appearance.
Your parents notwithstanding.
Thank you, Birdie. Think.
Squaw.
So you're still going around and getting yourself hurt?
That really remains. Trouble seems to find me.
Trouble seems to find you?
Trouble seems to find me.
That seems pretty interesting. Trouble seems to find all of you?
Yeah.
At this rate, yeah.
You're not there.
I am.
No, he came down.
I'm next to him.
The three, this part of the table, all came down together.
We were trying to throw the bird out.
Well, Dr. Hippocampus has been pretty fine this entire time.
Yeah, because
You're just picking up the bodies.
Well,
I've been pretty good too.
Trouble seems to find you, and you guys always seem to be needing some help. You might need someone who can help heal people.
That does seem to be.
I wouldn't turn a healer down.
Yeah. I can heal myself. So
as long as you guys do the fighting, I'm doing well.
What race is?
I'm an elf.
He's a full-blooded elf.
Sense motive.
With foreign-looking clothes.
Okay.
26.
Are you being honest?
I'm being honest.
All right, he's honest.
I'm not looking for.
But he could use an ink blot test.
I go sit down next to Atlas, ask him what if he wants to show me around town since it's my first time ever being here.
Oh yes, I forgot.
I came here. I had a mission to come here.
I could use a tour as well, and I need to get some food in my belly. Nobody fed me when I was dying.
I'd like a tour.
It was kind of hard to keep those bugs down.
He fails to mention that he was bleeding out of his mouth. But yeah, so food is ordered.
Can I perch on the back of someone's chair?
Yeah, you can perch on the back of someone's chair.
You want a house?
Havoc will ignore you if you want to use his chair, or you can choose somebody else if you want to. If you do want them to react.
I woke them up already. Whoever is the least disgruntled, I perch on the back of their chair.
That's probably Griff and Atlas, or maybe Hippocampus, because they just had a little victory over.
You're like, no.
We're not mourning people.
I'm not in a chair. I'm in a stool.
That's right. I can't
I'm
perch on the
standing.
back of that.
So
I just sat next to you, so I'm in a stool.
Wait, there's no backs to these chairs.
Yeah, there's no back.
I mean, you
to
could
these
just
chairs.
go-
I flutter hopelessly at the side of the bar.
You just stand on the bar.
Oh, well.
Please, miss. Remain on the floor.
it's 4 in the fucking
It's
morning.
4 in the fucking morning.
No, it's 4:05
This is
now.
this is the time I'm supposed to be going to bed, and everybody wants breakfast.
I'm a pretty good cook.
Throw some feed.
The guy behind the counter is cleaning a glass with a rag that's getting more dirty as he's rubbing the glass.
I know that reference.
Right.
Are we fed?
Well, I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
How much
so-
does it
upper
cost
town.
us?
So the food is
You're
food
going
for Griff,
up
and it is very low quality. It is unidentifiable meat byproduct adjacent.
I'm gonna purify it then before I eat.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad
Do
idea.
that to mine.
I'll do it for your
Thanks.
Oh God! I'm
Anybody
halfway
else
through
want
mine.
some?
Halfway through this dish.
The bread is rock hard, and there's something black and unidentifiable also on the plate.
Excellent.
I'm a paladin of immune disease. Not much of
I peck at the bread.
All right.
Woodpecker at this point.
You break your beak.
Yeah.
No!
No.
Mending!
Oh my god.
I don't know if it works that way, but sure. Oh boy. All right. So you can glean some semblance of nourishment from this meal, and the sun begins to rise over the horizon as the day begins.
So, Griff, you're going uptown?
Going uptown.
What's Griff dressed like? Is he like in shaggy
Just
clothes?
like traveler's gear. Yeah.
Traveler's gear? You're going uptown dressed like that?
Yeah, man.
I gotta see this.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Cool.
And I'm supposed to go there. That's where I have to finish my dissertation.
I need to go there. Oh, well, then I can get in with you.
Alice, my journey has been to come here and to see the Grand Library. Where is that located?
Atlas points up.
I'm going to uptown with you, I guess.
Now, I may be from the literal other side of the world,
Yeah.
but from what I've heard, it is not something. Invitations are required, I believe. Is that right, Atlas?
Yeah, unless you can fly and dodge lightning bolts.
You can dodge lightning bolts?
Fly, maybe. No, lightning bolts. Well, what do you propose we do instead?
Level up.
If you have any intention of getting up to the upper town, you're going to have to earn the favor of some higher ups. It's really all about nepotism up there. So I think one of the first moves we should do. Atlas reaches into his bag and pulls out a letter that's still sealed. He's probably hand these off to the guard.
What are they? I'm asking, what are they?
Atlas doesn't remember if Griff was actually there. I don't think he was.
That may
That's
have
why
been,
I'm asking.
Right,
What are they?
that might have been one of the times he phased out,
Right.
but
So what are those?
We got these from Hafton. The local guards.
Remember
The local guards handed these off so that we could requisition some more magic potions and help for Hafton.
Anti-magic potions?
Yes.
Did we take care of the tree?
No. Well, yes, we did.
Yes, it is.
Yes or no? Is it still raining blood or whatever?
Yeah, a little bit.
Necrotic? Yeah.
It ended.
How are we going to stop that? You still have the catalyst?
It comes in phases.
I might or may not have the catalyst.
Alright,
Now,
so we should just like fix that.
we're going to have to get back there later on.
Okay,
it's
so
like,
what's-
it's like
what's
4 days away.
What's with the envelopes?
We got to hand them off. That's all we got to do.
Just hand them
You
off.
got one. You got one.
I did?
You got one. We don't really know you.
Nope.
And you got one.
I think I might have had one, but I don't know where it is.
I have one.
Have you
I
found it yet?
And I probably have papers also because I'm going to finish my dissertation here.
What is
And
it?
that is my character.
We didn't open them.
Well, what's on it? What does it say?
Requests for
It's
aid.
Here goes another one.
I believe.
Did Josh tell
Liam,
you?
no, it was Liam who gave us the.
No, it was Josh.
Was it Josh?
Yeah, and it was basically
Right.
Josh gave it to us at the start of his session, which was the
Yeah.
effective end.
Did Josh tell you what was supposed to be on it?
No, but I believe what he explained was that they were requisitions for more anti-magic potions because they all come from they're produced in
Fact check.
Yeah,
they're also for help.
Yeah,
Or you could just make it up.
Yeah, I think it basically says that Halfton is in utter chaos after a arcane rift destroyed most of it. We require food aid in the form of food, anti-magic potions, and laborers.
So that's what it says. Yeah. Do you convey that?
And the letters are addressed to administration house in a nicer part of the lower city because the people who own the city live in Uptown, but they do business in Lowtown.
Do we have
make the production down there.
And I'm assuming all you guys read those letters by it to yourselves.
No, Joe.
No, you just
Most of us just took the letters and went.
Do we need to reseal that?
Yeah, Atlas.
No, we've got copies.
We can always make them.
So I'm listening to this. I'm like, this is what the hell did you guys get yourself into?
I think.
Yeah, sometimes life
You
finds a way.
You're all a group.
It just finds a way.
You got an elf, half elf, and
half elf.
half elf.
Elf, sir. I take offense to that.
You're a
Sylph.
sylph.
It's like a
Dwarf. Fuck you, dwarf.
A sylph, a half elf, human, hobgoblin, and birdie thing. And you, how did you? This like never happens. All you together. Did you like all lose a bet or something?
It's my life's mission.
You talk?
Holy shit!
Just like blew his freaking mind.
Whoa. Yeah, orcs is the long story.
Yeah, orcs. Sucked in orcs.
I wasn't part of that, but explosions, magic farts. That's my story.
And then,
Flatulence.
and then a surprising amount of altruism that I am floored by.
Squawk.
See, they're random words. Can you understand me?
Yes. You half-witted nerve herder.
Star Wars.
Alright, so you're telling us.
Damn it!
We can't monetize this now.
So yeah. Okay.
So you're telling us there's no way for us to get into Uptown.
Where do we need to? We'll get there. Where are we gonna go to hand those in? Is that because you said we got to do that before we get to Uptown?
There would be places in the Port District and places in the sort of outer ring, the suburb-like place.
Let's take a walk.
Okay.
Okay, we would like to do some rolls for lore and history. And
What kind of checks do you want to make?
What did you tell us to do?
That's what you want to know about.
Yeah, I was
What
gonna
would
say.
you like to know about?
How?
Let's do the first thing first. Let's walk out the
wanna-
door.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna
outside,
stroll.
it is the pale early morning. The air is brisk and cold because it is fall.
Wasn't it spring a minute ago?
No, it's fall now because people don't understand when harvests occur. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Hi, Josh.
Were horses allowed into?
Yeah. Horses are allowed in the city.
Okay.
There's a number of
Wait, but
there's a
yak?
stable nearby
Yak.
where your animals are being kept, as well as coincidentally several animals of other members of the party.
Okay.
Including the weasel.
A weasel.
I think the weasel you
a
can just
snake.
keep with you.
Good. The snake. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Snake, it's just like a 12-foot long boa constrictor, just like choking out that stable guy. Why am I stabling this thing?
Why did I put exotic animals on my sign?
What did you want to know?
When you multi-class, so like if I was to our next level, which I know is going to be for a while now, we'll take a level in something. The next time I go to level up, my Oracle would still be at 6th level? Or like, so if we get to level 7 and I take a last class in Barbarian.
Yeah,
the next time we level up and I'm like, oh, I want to do my Oracle again, that goes up to 7 even though we're level 8?
Yep.
Okay.
That is correct.
Yeah, that is how it works. You'll just never have a level 20 Oracle.
So under the context of asking Atlas Blue for a tour as we walk through to deliver these letters, should I or he roll a knowledge history?
Well, if Atlas, are you like giving a tour? Are you like pointing out places of interest and stuff?
Or are you just walking to the...
I think Atlas is sort of doing like the old man reminiscing.
Yeah, I agree. That sort of seems like his style.
Like, it's not just like, oh, this is where you can go to do so. It's like, this is the story that he has associated with this place. And each story is...
Oh, back in 65!
Right, each story is
rambling.
It's rambling. Yeah, he's sort of just rambling on.
Giving us facts we really don't need to know.
Back in my day,
Me and Jack used to play over there. Jack was a real asshole, by the way.
So you managed to glean from him babbling on that Porta Nova is sort of the crown jewel of the general area, which is called the Crashing Coast. It's a trade city on the Champagne River, and the center of commerce for miles around. It's the finest city in the whole world, at least according to Atlas. The cliff is the result of an ancient natural disaster, which splits the town into its two major districts. Although we're in sort of the trade and commerce part, although not exactly in a nice neighborhood at the moment. Passing a downed building, you point out that it was built on the ruins of previous incarnations of the city, and there's because the cliff is only occasionally subjected to earthquakes.
Should we establish how long ago the last shift was?
I was thinking about 150 years. That way, it's mostly out of the minds of the long-lived, and definitely out of the minds of the short-lived.
And that would mean the last one you experienced, you were like a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't really drive with my story, though.
No.
Well, what would you like then, Joe?
Like 100 years.
Sorry.
Like 100 years.
Well, we are out of character.
That's fine. Yeah.
Last
So most people haven't experienced
Yeah.
it.
So it's been about a century since the last lurch. They're called lurches.
That's right.
Lurchy.
Wow. Atlas also explains to the party that the aristocrats up in Old Town own almost all of this property.
Yeah. And the noble houses elect a patrician who rules over the city. On the subject of knowledge and nobility.
I get +10 to that.
Yeah.
A quick question. As we're walking through, do I see any vendors that are selling food?
Oh yeah, plenty. And it ranges from
Food, yeah.
food vendors.
Okay.
It's still very early in the morning. You know that there would be stalls around here once it gets to be like properly daytime. At the moment though, you smell the baking of bread. So food is being prepared in places, but it's not currently available.
Okay.
But in like 1 or 2 more hours, you'll be able to get the freshest stuff that was made.
I'd like to imagine that Porta Nova is also sort of like the city that never sleeps.
Yeah, certainly. It is. It's still busy, but
It's like a change.
nobody's selling things on the street when it's kind of dark out. But most of the business is taking place indoors, and people move about in the streets. So it's still crowded, but it's less crowded than it would be during the day.
Only thing that sells is the black market at night.
Okay.
It's basically when the sun goes down, the streets are a little bit more clear, and in the heat of noon, the streets are a little bit more clear. And the rest of the time, it is super, super bustling. And bustling is growing at the moment, but it's still sort of in the lower traffic part.
So we can make the best time, but there's
You can make the best
people
time
out.
right now. Yeah.
What kind of stores do we pass?
It's a little hard to tell, especially in the soaks. But you know, it's things like insurance.
Insurance
there's
everywhere.
The soaks is actually mostly residential. So it's small food places that mostly sell like bread and like hardtack and stuff like that. There's things like general stores that sell like brooms and things that people need, and then it's just apartments and apartments and apartments, inns and just like low income housing.
Anything that pickles?
You could probably find pickles in like a general store or something. Preserved foods are common here, and a lot of it is like small sardines and fish and stuff from the port.
Any general stores open?
You could try.
Okay, I'm gonna poke my beaky nose into.
I don't think the rest of the party stops.
Okay, well I scurry along behind, just looking in windows. Does
the rest of the party stop when we pass one of these doors?
I'm just following Atlas, listening to his stories.
Yeah, I'm just following him and listening as well.
I'm watching
Kinda writing
Morgan
stuff
kind of
down.
flutter back and forth, and I'm like, what?
Were you in
On a
Porta
mission.
Nova during the past 6 years?
No.
Okay,
Atlas hasn't been in Porta Nova for the past 40 years.
40 years. All right.
It's been a bit.
That's
Important.
right, 40 years. Ooh, big changes.
Yeah. So you guys move through the city, and if does anybody want to like do like so you're winding your way through side streets, darting very quickly through the occasional alley. You don't want to stay in those for too long, and you're making your way alongside the river, essentially heading out towards a nicer part of town, nearer towards the ports.
You gotta be careful when you're walking the streets of the soaks. You already had that encounter with that one child. They're dangerous.
Has the girl
Child.
recovered yet?
Oh, you don't see her. You don't know where she is.
What are you talking about?
He color sprayed a
little-
6-year-old.
Listen, you don't understand this place like I understand this place.
Dr. Hippocampus remembers and makes a note about Atlas attacking a small child with child.
You weren't there.
No, wait, he just heard her say that.
Different times.
So what
Holly,
happened?
if you're looking for the black market, you'll definitely find it back there.
Oh, no, I don't need to go to the black market. I was just telling
He
you.
announces to the street at large.
I'm okay. Thank you, though.
All right. Well,
I already told you, I only came to this city for one thing, and that was the...
Well, there's plenty of ladies of the night there too.
is Havoc with us?
Havoc's with you guys, yeah.
Havoc's like... No, I'm just looking for the Grand Library. That's it.
Oh, you know
It's
what
the whole reason of why I've traveled here.
What happened with this whole?
Before the
we
orcs
left
came.
Victus and the little gnome together at the hotel. Just saying.
Who knows what will happen?
What's her name again?
Taza.
That's right.
There's no de-aging spells in Pathfinder, is there?
There are spells that make you resistant to the effects of aging.
Oh,
Yeah, you have
She
a
lives to
short
be 40
life.
years old before she dies.
How old?
40. I'm like 27 or something. You guys need to save me.
Definitely. Almost over the hump there.
Thanks.
And yet,
Resistant.
you didn't choose monk or something that
Doesn't
gets
stop
in,
you from dying.
Yeah,
that
I
gets
know, but
agelessness.
I don't want to make it go
I
backwards.
mean, I got like a half elf. I'm
It
good to like
gives
200
there
or
is
something.
no-
Bonuses there.
Urgency to
Yeah,
my
that's cool.
goal.
Yeah, sure. All right, so you guys continue through this town, and eventually you find your way. If there's nothing else that you would like to do or talk about, you find your
The
way.
only thing I'm looking for as we're walking is maybe a map.
pickling
You
store.
are here.
You
are
find
here.
pickling stores, but nobody's stopping at a pickling store.
Guys, can we stop?
Why?
Why?
I need to buy pickling supplies.
Why?
I don't ask you when you buy tampons. Let me in.
What's a tampon? They haven't been invented.
I shove a little
Give
piece
me 1
of
second.
cloth up his bloody nose.
They're invented.
Yeah, go back in time, Greg.
All right. Do we want to stop for pickling equipment?
It'll
I
take
don't.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
She can stop and we can go. She knows where we're going.
We're just gonna be
Right down the road.
Follow this road. take the first right.
I cast
Then-
no direction on Atlas Blue.
No,
How long
I know
does
the
it take
direction. You need to know the direction.
Yeah, but it's quick.
How long does it take to cast?
I know it's quick.
Discern
10 minutes.
direction.
Forget the direction. It's a ritual.
Can imagine like a birds of paradise hopping around.
Well, I imagine she has the
One standard action.
staff from Dark
And what does it
Souls
do?
that makes everybody.
It lets me discern north, but I've been using it to direct myself.
I don't know.
External reference point to keep you to track
Oh.
direction.
If you don't, you don't find some external.
You know, it keeps track of direction.
Yeah, but you can't like put a tracking device on
I
something.
wanna put
You
a-
can just make an arcana. Can you make an arcana mark?
Yes, I
arcane
can.
mark.
Put it on somebody here, and you can track us. The mark's good on a person for at least a few days. I
It
believe.
is.
Yeah, but it's not really tracking.
It is because you.
No, so you can't. You don't know. You need
Are we just going right down the road?
find
Right
object.
down the road.
You need find object to do that. And you did a very clever use of using arcane mark and then
On my-
detect
I-
magic
yeah,
to find
that's
out.
how
where
I-
she
She
is.
has
mine.
a letter, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She can find the way.
Okay, I will
more
wait.
drug dealers.
Are you just a large flightless bird?
I can fly. I'll wait.
Show me the way. Whoa.
More druggies dealers are here. Oh my god, another car's coming in.
Man.
Are we gonna die?
Is
this it?
It's the FDA.
They found us.
Joe's brother just like jumps out the window.
Alright. Right, so you guys, I guess, leave Morgan behind.
I said I'd wait. The door's not open.
The store's open now.
It's been like
4:30.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time negotiating your way through this exceedingly expansive city with a very terrible layout.
okay.
Like, it's just all winding, meandering streets, and sometimes you need to take other streets because, like, the river has flooded part of it, or it's too rainy, or somebody set up a tent in the middle of an alleyway.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing for us to point out. Is this is a big city. You know, if like you were in the center of Boston and you wanted to walk to the docks, it would take you a couple hours to do that.
Yeah.
It's not like a little hamlet where you can go across town in like 10 minutes. So in order for us to get out of just the soaks, it probably took us like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. So you've left the soaks, and the sun has fully extracted itself from the horizon. The city has, and your progress gets slower and slower as more and more people take to the streets, and stalls begin to open up, and yes, you can find a store with pickling.
If they don't stop, I will wait. I will wait. It's too hard. It's too easy to get lost in this city.
I agree. So you guys arrive at a like a constable house, and men in uniform come and go. Occasionally, a ne'er-do-well is brought in with a couple of manacles on. Occasionally, someone is taken out of manacles and allowed to leave. There's several stocks that are filled and several that aren't. And there's generally a laissez-faire approach to law-keeping here. And most of the people in the stocks are vigilantes of the religion of Rictus, who are trying to take the law into their own hands and being punished for it, as opposed to actual criminals.
Is he the only religion?
No,
Religion that just keeps shutting
No,
in your
there's
face.
just a very consistent 4% of the population.
4%. So
Yeah.
it's the Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, basically. I mean, other religions are available. And you passed several temples on the way of
I
various
stopped.
sorts.
Like, do these have like any bits of information in front of them, or just the name? Or...
Yeah, so you pass several of the goddess Psyche. You pass a couple of who's the thunder one? No, I think I got this written down.
We got notes. We got notes.
Faraday.
A couple of Faraday, there's a wide selection and there's multiples for each god. They're basically like every street corner has its own little chapel.
Yeah. So I kind of like.
And then there's some bigger.
Jot down.
Yes, there's one of Ovum, but it's a little run down and mostly it's like a Kenku ghetto.
Oh, I was gonna say, if I pass by, will you suddenly hear a bunch of when a bunch of birds get together?
Yeah, there's some it's squabbling and you need to keep a finger hooked into your shirt collar. keep you from flying off.
I was gonna say there's only 3 churches for my religion, and one of the oldest ones is in this city. I just didn't pick where. In the
if
city.
it's a really old,
it's like an old temple.
The oldest, most impressive cathedrals are in the upper city.
Okay, of course I can't get to it.
Yeah,
No.
but there's a ton of
So I'm just
temples
like
and stuff
jumping
in the
names
lower
down
city.
as
Yeah.
we go by.
But that's good. That can be your cover.
That's it. They let me.
And they're all stuff that's like they're usually named after saints, and then also have the god as the part of the temple, and they all have their own unique architecture. So you arrive at this constable house. It's several stories. It's got a little less slanted roof. It's very broad. It looks kind of like a small keep with very thick stone walls that are reinforced, small arrow slits along it. It looks like a defensible position where it required to be. And it also seemed to have been repaired in several places with smaller bricks from ancient disasters. Everything in the city has been repaired at some point, unless it's a very new building.
Yeah, here we are.
Seems like a nice place.
So we just need to drop off the anti-magic.
No, we need to drop off the slits
No.
so that they can
Letters.
Drop
commission.
off the letters.
Griff, present. Stay in the present.
We need to find whoever's in charge here. Give them the letters so that they can commission help.
I'm
And
gonna
whatever
try
way.
that.
Dead.
A lot of people in Afton are dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I saved a couple.
I say
Pretty sure I remember a lot of them.
I'm pretty sure you switched a few brains between 2 people. It was an experience.
it's still saved.
Well, sure, let's give them the letter.
Looking at Dr. Hippocampus like, what?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
That explains everything.
I'm a surgeon.
I'm the
Like
crazy
with the
one.
most, like with the most straight face and like no expression. I'm a surgeon.
I just kind of accept it for what it is. Like,
I'll extract the letter from my mule's bag.
I just have mine on my person, so
Because you can carry stuff.
Would you guys like to go in and deliver the letters?
yeah. Sure enough. Who's in charge?
So there's sort of a little staircase up to a lobby where there's like a help desk almost, where there's a small queue of people with complaints or requests or something, and the line is moving rather quickly as most people are denied.
Tonight.
And they've got like one of them little belt mazes to make the line very orderly. And after like 2 or 3 minutes, you guys make it together up to the desk, where there's a half orc in uniform sits. He's very sort of like it's only been like a couple of hours that he's been working, and he's already exhausted. And he's got way too many stacks of paper, and most of them have fallen over, and his ink well is upturned, and ink's getting everywhere. And he's dabbing at it furiously, and he's like, "Yes, what do you want?"
Can we help him? Can we like? It doesn't work.
No, stay behind the white line.
So wait, is there a ton of papers?
There's like a little metal grate protecting him from people.
And he has a ton of papers.
He's got a ton of papers.
Anyone know Gus to win? Just clear his plate.
I actually have a breeze around.
Could you imagine just like,
The papers begin to flutter up to in response to Atlas, and he's like slamming them down into the ink, and he's like, "Oh no, fuck! I gotta redo that one." And
No, I'm sorry.
balling stuff
I'm
out, and he's like, "Put that away."
Sorry, everyone.
What do you want?
Atlas holds up his opened letter. He says, "We've got a letter from Hafton. Or we've got several letters.
People get letters all the time.
Not just a letter. A request. You see, Hafton exploded.
So, pardon?
It exploded about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it exploded with flatulence.
Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about
An anal rift, yes.
All right. I'll take your letters. I'm assuming that you are messengers. Then you didn't receive the letter. You're delivering the letter.
Something like that.
Well, we received it, and now we're delivering it.
Okay, good. All right. He puts it in the done pile. Says, "On your way."
Okay.
We did everything we
Atlas
could.
weaves his way back through the. Or actually, I guess there's an exit. You don't have to go back up.
Yeah. Then you hear a slumping of paper and oh, God damn it!
That's step number one, boys. Step number one of many.
Alright, what's the next step?
I'm just really confused. I'm like, was that it? Was that the job?
So we're all like in the line and just kind of does one of those things, just comes right back.
Or is it a straight line?
So it's a little back and forth maze
snake.
up to the thing, and then you can just walk.
So that's all they had to do was just drop off the letter. Now they walk out.
Yeah, it seems like.
So I'm just gonna walk up to the window and just look into all the stuff, going, "That sucks."
Yeah. The entire out pile that he had put the letter on has slumped into his waste paper basket.
So I kind of say, "At least partly it's done now." Just walk away.
He ignores you and scoops handfuls of ink off of his desk.
How many letters did we hand in?
I only gave him 9. If you guys
I
want.
guess if I had one.
So there's also several more letters that are just sitting on his desk as he scoops ink away from them.
I feel like,
I hold on to
it's
my
not
letter.
gonna get taken care of.
I hold on to my letter.
Same.
Okay.
I don't wanna.
When I hand him mine, I'm going to accidentally hit his whole pile of letters over.
That's probably what caused it to slump.
Oh, but I'm going to make it a bigger mess. Oh!
Okay, it's a bigger mess.
What was he behind that metal?
That's true. You can't reach into him.
Oh, I thought. Oh, it's like a
There's
little
a
slide.
section-
Is it like a little slide in?
It's one of those like grates that has a little thing below, kind of like a
Like
bank where it's
Like a
ticket.
gas station in the sketchy part of the neighborhood.
Well, then that's no fun. I'm not going to give him that.
I just put like a hunk of cheese right at where, right where you put the stuff. You're like, "Here's for your troubles." Just a hunk of cheese.
I see that and I'm like, okay.
The cheese is a little taller than the slot, so he can't quite get it through.
Aww.
Alright, so you guys leave? You guys stay?
Yeah, I follow.
I mean, I'm going to follow them at this point.
Who's
I'm
the
like,
letter
this was
addressed to?
worth
To
it.
whom it may concern.
Oh.
Wait, did you end up taking the hunk of cheese?
I didn't take it, but I saw it.
Okay.
He puts the
Basically,
outside
nobody,
of the
like, he
line.
kind of, like, shoved it in there enough so none of nobody's letters.
Yeah,
It's
none of the
slightly
letters.
None of the
squished-
letters can fit now.
Slightly squished into the slot.
Can't get any more letters. He probably likes you, and now all the letters have stopped.
So on your way out, it's very easy to spot that there is a like a billboard on the wall, and where people can
part
post
of the-
flyers.
Role playing.
Hey!
It'll make sense when someone does something
Alright,
interesting.
there's a new flyer added by our Mordring, but also there's a flyer that says reminder, and it says a date on it, which I don't know if we have really a calendar system established for this world, but that doesn't matter.
Well, you can-
It just points out that in 2 days that the Fall Fire Festival will be occurring, and
it's a lot
people
better
should
than-
prepare.
Spring Fire Festival.
Yeah, it does. It does sound a lot better than the Spring Fire Festival.
The Summer Fire Festival, though. That's where the dailies are.
Dr. Hippocampus checks his bird dressings.
You seem well stocked.
Are you preparing or hoping?
Both.
Both? I mean,
So it just there's just a flyer.
Yeah, there's a flyer for the Fall Fire Fest.
Does it say? Can I read it?
Can you read?
Is it a flyer? or a
The
poster?
most important thing on it points out that public drinking will be temporarily not illegal for the festival.
It's a legal joke. Atlas is just like,
Yeah, this whole time Alice has been breaking the law. So yeah, we step out and Alice reminisces about the last fire festival that he was at.
So you recall that it's sort of a combination of Mardi Gras and Thanksgiving and probably also like a New Year's party almost, with a bit of 4th of July. And there's literal floats that come down the river that are decorated by various businesses and noble houses, and the best one is always the Arcane College, and people. There's big bonfires where children throw little wicker wishes into where it's basically like you sort of it's a New Year's resolution type deal where you have a plan for the new year kind of. And it always ends with a beautiful firework display put on by the college with magic and stuff.
Lots of power.
Atlas, do you know where the float?
And drinking is no longer public drinking is no longer legal. You're supposed to do that like in a bar or like in your house, but like just you can drink in the streets. And people get smashed and people throw glass and it's a wonderful party. The whole city just comes alive. It just comes alive.
Purge as well.
No, it's not a purge. But it is get drunk, stand up, and
Griff just looks at his dagger.
I have a dagger.
So Atlas, I was going to ask you, do you happen to recall from the previous festival where the floats end up at the end of the procession?
Yeah, they wash into the ocean.
it's they're like barges. They come down the river and then they go into the harbor.
Okay, I was trying to think of a way we could sneak into.
I was going to say the same.
No, thank you, because it's a good drunk night to do it.
Top town.
Well, you see, they used to do floats on the river, but also had floats magically suspended. But yeah, people were trying to get into Old Town that way, and they put that kibosh on that one pretty quick.
Too smart.
Couldn't you just like fly and then everybody just thinks you're too drunk?
No, if you fly around the airspace of Old Town, they'll shoot you down.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
I think we have to go up one of the elevators.
you do.
Thought so.
You have to go up one of the elevators.
Unless you rock climb.
Yeah,
Spider
you can try
climb.
rock climbing.
Spider climate.
It is about a 45-degree angle in the wrong way. It's a cute angle here. You do have spider climbers.
I don't have it, but
I do.
But it is an exceedingly tall cliff, and it may take longer to climb it than spider climb lasts for. But I mean, you've got enough spell slots, you can just overlap it. So you guys are back on the streets. You notice that there's that some people are talking.
Level.
Yeah, I mean
That's pretty long.
unless you can double move.
Yeah.
that's true. I don't know.
So it will literally last an hour.
In any case,
You can do it.
no,
but I'm just saying.
you notice that there's some minor preparations being made. Like there's areas being cleared and big heavy cast iron braziers being set out to be filled with wood for the bonfires. And lines are being run across rooftops to have flags put on them later. It's just the lines at the moment, stuff like that. Early preparations.
Are there any stores with pickling?
Yes, there's stores with pickling supplies nearby.
Good.
She's gonna keep squawking unless we do something.
You can buy pickling stuff. It doesn't mean we have to stop.
I'm not getting separated from you guys. I'm a bird in a city. Talk about waiting for that.
I might roast her up for lunch.
You're worried about falcons?
Yeah!
Well, I mean, there's a big cliff, so I guess there's falcons.
Yeah, man-sized falcons. Come on.
So did we watch Morgrim like going shop to shop and then seeing something shiny and like running up and pecking at it?
I wanna.
You guys aren't letting me
keep having,
buy
like,
anything
rabbit.
shiny though.
Like holy shit.
Is there any general store that I can persuade them to go into? That
Can you persuade us to go into a general store?
anything you guys want to buy? This is your opportunity. We're in Porta Nova.
I could use some things.
Then go buy them.
Griff,
I don't need to come with
I'm
you.
gonna send you back to the ice stage.
I'll do that myself.
You might go before the ice age. We don't know.
I don't need to go grocery shopping with you guys.
Atlas Blue, what about some gel for your hair? Come on.
That's not Joe, that's the wind.
Yeah, Joe.
I know. I picked something.
This is all natural.
This is all-
A hair new song.
This is all Atlas, right?
I guess I could restock my house of cheese.
Do you carry around a lot of cheese?
Or at least some people go into a general.
I'm not sure what she's buying.
All right, you have 24 eggs. Don't crack them.
How much do they?
Buying eggs.
Yeah.
You know, Morgan, you could buy a chicken.
I have so many animals. Ooh, do they sell chickens?
Not in this part of town. You'd have to go more towards the suburbs to
Alright,
get
I'll wait
livestock.
for suburbs.
Havoc will come out with a handful of cloth strips that he begins winding around his hands.
You know, Bolly, one of these days I'm going to have to take a look into that spellbook of yours.
I was thinking the same thing. I was spent to die.
I would like to roll a perception, see what I see when you pull this
Stick
thing
out.
out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it too, actually.
Nope.
You already know what it is.
Do I?
You might. I don't know. What did you roll?
What did that pull out?
I pulled out.
He
I pulled
pulled
out
out a
Raven.
stick and he gave it to me, and I rolled a 10.
Why'd you give it
total
to
of a 10
him?
per perception.
Because he said he'll give me cheese if I show him something interesting. So I pull out
Right, I
what
want
looks like a stick to him,
to look at the stick.
and I told him to talk to him.
So I said, "Hi, stick."
Alright, 23 on
So-
perception of the stick.
Yeah, you know what it is already.
When you hold the stick, a voice does it speak
you can
out loud?
speak out loud. Yeah.
All right, so the stick itself speaks in
Big black stick.
a deep
not
and kind of
It's she, it's
regal
a-
voice, and it says, "Yes."
I go, "Is it?" I'm just kind of baffled, like, "All right, that's worth a hunk of cheese."
I'm okay
And I
with it.
hand Volley a hunk of cheese.
All right.
Positive reinforcements.
Oh,
I'll take that one. Thanks.
Just giving out cookies for those who can't see.
Oh yeah, I'm giving out cookies for anybody who does something interesting. But my character gives them a hunk of cheese. I give them a cookie.
Is it good cheese?
No.
Oh, good.
Do we know?
I
its
keep the
name
stick
yet?
now.
You knew Raven.
I
Well,
cast,
you never introduced us. You kind of.
Yeah,
I
the,
did.
the stick announces that its name is Raven, and it is the guardian of Volley.
How sweet.
Well, Guardian of Volley.
Yeah, I take the stick back, and it was a blade hidden inside, and it's a black blade, and I put it away.
Oh
I
wow.
cast detect psychic significance when I hear the stick start talking.
It is an intelligent being.
What does that spell do?
No, I'm curious. I have no idea what
You
that
detect the presence of psychically significant items in your vicinity, such as items that might have significant psychic imprints.
Can we ask a
That's
question?
basically
a lot of
if you're-
psychic.
that's if you're using
Lot of
psionic
significance.
classes and you have magic items that use psionic energy instead of magic items. So this isn't a psionic item, but you can tell that it has a mind.
Intelligence.
Can we ask questions about?
I was thinking
Raven?
more if it would tell me if it's like
It's whether up to him if he wants to
imprinting
tell
of
you.
his
Though.
mind.
Is Raven classified
Because
as
we're not using
spirit?
psionics in this campaign.
Dang, I was gonna say I'll never lose you again.
He is. He's playing a class from Occult Adventures, which is the Psionics book.
It's not an ethereal ghost. Dang it. No. I was really hoping I'd never
It's
lose
not
you.
spirit. Your
I know some ghosts.
your dream catcher is not twitching.
What?
I mean, it is twitching, but it's like twitching in various directions.
Jeez, dude.
Oh yeah.
In the city.
So let's say I buy 7 more cheese humps. How
They'll
much
run you a silver piece each,
silver piece each? So that's 7 silver.
and they're like little wheels, about
That big.
like 10 inches across.
So I have 15 cheese humps left.
And what's my damage for 2 dozen eggs and extensively expensive packaging?
Oh, you mean? I thought you meant like actual damage.
So
Just slam somebody.
1d3 non-lethal.
it's like so I see this happen, and he's like, "Oh, looking for interesting things."
Yeah.
Saw me get some cheese.
So I go into my pouch, and you see me like
Yeah, it'll be like 10
taking
silver
a while
per thing of eggs.
to get shit out of my pouch. I'm like, fucking, and I pull out a deck of cards, and I'm like, watch this, and I drop it, and it just goes 10 feet in a random direction and falls on the ground.
Every single card goes 10 feet precisely in a
No,
random
it's like
direction.
one deck.
Oh, like it's in a package?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I don't want those going anywhere.
I look at that and I'm like,
2 silver?
okay, I guess
10
that counts.
silver per.
So I hand Griff a piece of cheese /
Everybody wants cookies.
I go in.
I've been staring at it for a while. Like I didn't know how to get them, so I was waiting.
This is the best character. I fucking love it.
Sam, I'm gonna go into the store and restock some surgeon supplies, buy a new pair of clean gloves.
Alright, surgeon supplies are a rather specialty item, and it'll take you a little while to find a shop that carries such things.
I'm saying that, but I mean like some gauze and stuff.
Oh, like gauze and stuff?
I have the surgeon's tools.
Oh, so gauze and
I just
stuff.
want to get like more of the gauze.
Yeah, so it'll be like,
Etc.
I would say like 5 silver per usable heal check of it.
Okay.
And you can buy whatever amount of that.
I pick up the deck of cards, and having gone in my pouch for the first time in what feels like years, because it is, I realize I'm really low in rations. So I'm going to buy some rations.
Alright, so we actually all do go into this general store.
Suck it.
Yeah.
With the exception of Atlas, who's just tapping his foot
I'm
outside.
gonna buy rations, I guess. But back to what you were saying, Atlas. We should look at each other's spell books.
No, you're not going to look at my spell book, but I'd like to look into yours.
Why? You won't share your spell book with me?
Well, every self-respecting wizard knows you can't just...
You can't just look at another man's spellbook. Let me see your spellbook.
I'm really confused by this because I've never really hung out with.
You'll show me yours, but I won't show you mine.
I'm like, to me, I'm a little confused because I've never really hung out with other wizards before, and I don't.
He might be molesting you.
Which way is the binding of your spellbook curved?
Well.
How big's your spell?
How big's your spell book?
Well, this is bigger than yours.
Oh,
It's got more spells in it, that's for sure.
But it's oldie and musty.
Oh, and maybe a little bit moldy.
Jeez.
It's been around the block a few times.
It doesn't always open up when you want it to. Worn out.
There's a little trouble casting magic missile.
Some of the pages are sticky.
Oh, that's quality content.
So, can you give us a general overview of what we might find in the store? Would there be food for animals?
Yeah, so there's animal feed here. There is hardtack, which is like sort of stale bread that can be used as trail rations. There's sort of thick ceramic jars that are sealed with like cloth and string and wax, filled with sardines, salted sardines. Can also be used as trail food. There are barrels of various kinds of middle to low quality alcohols. There's things like cooking like cooking knives and forks and ladles and cauldrons. There is brooms and like stuff to use about a house, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to buy some strong alcohol, please.
That can be used as a...
What kind would you like?
The strongest you got.
Alright. That'll run you about
Let me put it this way.
15
The one
silver
that you
a pint.
pour on the cut, that hurts the most.
Oh, you're looking for some like
Absinthe.
Burning brandy.
Yeah, so you can probably get like a vodka-esque grain alcohol for cheap. It will run you about 20 silver per bottle of it.
20 silver. Surely this is worth 20 silver.
So, you guys, Hippocampus Mind Blade acquires some clear alcohol in a glass bottle. How many bottles did you want?
Coming to me.
I look at the group and try and figure out how many.
Each one has about like 10 shots of this stuff in, which is probably all you really need on a bandage to sterilize it.
Dr. Hippocampus looks at the group and tries to discern how many people he'll need to heal.
Atlas.
That's big. While everyone else is in the general store, Atlas is going to go and try and find a really high quality liquor store.
Okay. You know that the best booze is to be found at the docks, because trade comes in from other places, and it all comes in at the docks, and those sailors, they like to drink.
Yeah, because Atlas is out of bubbly champagne bourbon.
I would just like to go to the docks.
So Atlas leaves. Actually, Volley was outside with him. Did you go into the store? Well, you see me take off.
I just walked behind him because he mentioned my spell book, and then he wouldn't answer me why he wouldn't show me his.
Alright, so you guys head off towards the docks.
You see Atlas. You see Volley. It's really all about the illusion of power and ability. That's why you can't look into someone else's spell book.
But you want to look into mine.
Well, yeah, that's how it works.
Like I said, I've never met another wizard before, so this is intriguing to me. I'm learning things.
You're about to be date raped.
I'm going down to the doctor.
Color spray!
Oh my it's so dark. He blasted me in the face with a rainbow, and then he blasted me in the face with another rainbow.
Let me touch your spell book.
I'm joking.
So there's this old man with flowing white hair.
And here I looked up to him. I'm only like 30 years old, man.
It's always something that you know and you look up.
No.
It's only some old guy.
It's too real.
This is going downhill so quickly. Alright.
Do I find the liquor store?
Yeah, you find the liquor store. You find like Seamus's liquor.
Shameless? Or
Seamus's spirits. How about that?
Even in a fake world, it's still a fucking Irish guy.
Yeah.
Seamus,
What can I do for you?
I'm looking for your finest,
Oh, I got
highest of quality.
Is he a halfling?
Yeah, he's an Irish halfling. Yeah, sure.
orange hair and everything.
Freckles.
Bane of the
Finest, highest quality liqueur.
Well, I see you got a shining eye. He fetches a bottle of something. It's a very nice looking bottle. It's got like a little fancy stopper in it and stuff. It will run you an entire gold, one whole gold piece for this. But you know, he's probably got something better. Have you been like? I think you've probably been to this shop with a different owner. In the past,
I suspect so.
Yeah. You ask like, what about do you still have the stuff that Vinny had, right?
Yeah. Right. Like show me the back room.
Yeah. And for 10 gold pieces, you can get the premium stuff. Like there's one bottle of this in the shop.
It's number like 50 out of
yeah,
like
it's
200.
Yeah, it is. This stuff is older than you, and it's like a fine. I don't know my alcohols, guys. Help me out.
Let's say brandy.
Yeah. It's
a fine drink.
It's a rum. It's like a really nice rum. It's like a sweet.
I don't know. Do you age rum? I don't think so.
You do.
Yeah, you can age rum.
You can barrel age rum.
But most people just want it because
Most
they're pirates.
So
I would think more whiskey.
No one had the time to
Yeah, so-
wait for aged rum
Nice
back
aged
in the day.
So, yeah. Listen, I don't fucking know. You can decide what it is.
Listen,
what do
if
you want to
wanna
buy?
age
asshole?
something, if you want to age something, it's either wine or whiskey.
Yeah.
I think Atlas is going to look for some really premium whiskeys.
Okay, so you find a 10 gold piece older than you whiskey. That's like
10 gold pieces?
yeah. It was
How
like
much is 10
the
gold
barrel
pieces?
was made out of like part of Ongu.
American currency.
Now that'd be like $200.
Okay,
That's not bad.
I could see that.
Yeah,
It's
so
not that much, but still.
Because it's like 15 gold pieces for an exquisite longsword,
No,
which is
but
actually
he's
like
also
$1,000.
he's
right?
like
Yeah.
he's like
Really
in a
quality sword.
he's like in a Olive Garden buying the most expensive wine, so it kind of makes
Yeah.
sense. It's like
Yeah,
an
like
expensive wine
is-
for a
is
crappy
expensive-
place.
This is expensive for Lowtown.
Yeah,
Not expensive for Uptown.
yeah. For Uptown, you're looking at platinum pieces, like multiple platinum pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a really nice whiskey.
Yeah, Atlas buys it.
Alright.
Or Atlas actually has the audacity to like pop this thing open in front of this dude before handing him the money. like oh, it's a fine year.
And he's like so short and he can't do anything about it.
It's a fine year.
He like swills it and spits it. Like the utter disrespect.
I'll take it.
Very good, sir.
I hand him 10 gold pieces.
Alright, he takes it gladly, thankful that you actually made good on your promise, and he like tests them by biting them and stuff, and now you've got the whiskey.
Very fine whiskey.
Everybody else can leave the shop with their the general store with their things, and you can continue to enjoy the bounty that is the city of Porta Nova, now split into two kind of groups.
Griff,
Yeah.
did you see where Atlas went?
No, I didn't, because I was inside buying rations.
Roll me a d20 with no modifiers.
14.
14? Alright, yeah, you don't know where he went. If an auspicious number had come up, your eyes would have rolled back in time and seen a couple of seconds.
I mean, yeah. I have there's a move that I get that does that. But, yeah, okay. So you're just kind of like jumping me up a couple levels for plot.
Oh, if that's an actual thing that happens, then I won't.
It's like a spell I can learn. Not yet, but it's like, I can. But, cool.
So you don't want to share your spells with me?
I'll share. Eventually. It's got. You know, you share me with some of your spells, and then I'll share some of my spells. That's how this works.
How? I don't know what it is that I. It's not sense motive, but what is it that I roll to see if I can just tell if he thinks low of me?
Sense motive.
Yeah, sense
Is this
That's
sense motive?
Yeah, sense motive.
I want to know if he.
Atlas hands
if he's
down
like looking.
low at you.
Yeah.
You don't even
tell.
have a
I can just tell.
Everything about the way Atlas is speaking to you.
Yeah, he's just
Even to like the
treating
way
me.
that he's like standing taller than you.
What is that?
How are you
He's not-
staying tall? Oh no,
We're the
just
same height, but he's trying to stand.
I thought
taller.
you were doing the thing where like you sort of slightly squat down, like he's a short, like to demean short people, where you're just sort of like.
But we're the same height. So
Yeah,
I'm
but like you're still in that posture.
That's how you talk to me.
Yeah,
every
that's
day.
how I talk
There's
to
an
you.
Always Sunny episode where they're like, is he being patronizing?
Right, but you can tell. You can
So
tell
I
that
just looked at him
Atlas
like, you don't respect me as a wizard, do
He's
you?
putting his hair up straight to gain height.
You're hardly professionally trained.
That's because I had no training.
What?
You know, I'm almost qualified to be a teacher of magic.
Almost qualified.
Almost.
What are you lacking?
Atlas tops off his finely engraved pewter flask.
Monogrammed.
Right. And pewter shooter. He takes a sip of it. Like there's a guard right there. Right? And then he just stoppers that and puts it away into his jacket. Almost. Like I lost track of our conversation.
What a champion! like I thought my character was an asshole. I thought his character was an asshole. Atlas has got it.
What are you talking about? He's sharing cheese. He's the best.
Oh, because you don't know.
Everybody loves the cheese.
Unless you poison the
do
cheese.
you
I don't know.
Do you give any cheese to the guy at the general store?
No. You didn't do anything interesting.
Okay. I just want to know.
No. If they don't do something, you know.
Yeah, so you guys are staying
just pets
outside the
anyways.
general store.
I'm a
Missing,
talking bird.
Missing
So
your
it
two
bugs
arcane
you that
spells.
I've had no training and I know spells you don't.
Hey, that's my job.
Well, it's not about you knowing things that I don't know. It's about me learning new things.
Oh.
Bullshit. If it makes you feel better, I didn't ask to know magic.
You didn't want to learn magic?
It was thrusted upon me. I didn't have the choice.
Sorry,
He was held down and it was thrusted upon him. You have a terrible sob story. I know. His whole life is just fucking
Just getting taken.
molestations and
The black blade takes on a whole new meaning.
this is terrible, dude. Your whole character is just the Me Too blade.
Oh man.
Oh jeez. Oh boy.
Oh, there goes our viewers.
Gone a long time ago.
Yeah, I didn't make it this far.
Can we get to the slightly larger group?
Yeah.
Who hasn't done
We're
anything?
walking back, I think, right? To where they were? After you got your drink.
So Zool got more cheese. Hippocampus got more bandages.
Doctor supplies.
Havoc also got some bandages that he's winding around his hands and forearms, hiding his tattoos. And did Griffin get anything?
Rations.
Just rations, okay. And Morgan got some eggs.
I have a list.
Oh,
I also
Jesus.
want animal feed, seed for myself. I want a cooking knife I can throw, and something shiny.
That's pretty interesting.
How much feed?
I have
Because it's like 2 copper pieces a day,
I have a mule
something like that.
and a goat. So they eat a lot on the road, but just stuff to hold them over.
Yeah, so it's a number of it's 2 copper pieces per day per animal.
Okay, what would get me 10 so I can do a silver? 2, 4,
5
6,
days
8.
for
Great.
1 animal.
Great, I'll do 2 of those.
Okay. There's something shiny. Could probably be
Knowledge, religion check.
You can make a knowledge religion check.
Ooh. That's the second 4 I've rolled.
You don't know what these things are. They're just some kind of. They look ritualistic, and he's hiding them.
Havoc.
Okay. You gain this.
Can I make a knowledge religion check as well? I'm seeing this happen too.
Sure.
What are we looking at?
Do you remember them from before?
You have knowledge religion.
Oh.
Yeah. Put that in your.
Well, the thing is, no, never mind.
So
I
plus
they
2
were
plus
finished.
whatever
I'll
that
take
is,
them. Sure.
Okay.
Have I 2?
2.
Okay.
which is 10, so nothing.
But Havoc, what religion are those tattoos that you're attempting to hide?
I don't know what you're talking about. He finishes winding up his other hand.
Do I also see it?
Yeah, you see it.
I might as well do that.
I did a 16.
16. They look ritualistic. You've never seen these tattoos before.
3.
It's not a knowledge religion check.
Well, if it's not knowledge engineering, I don't know.
It's definitely
either God or machine.
They're schematics. He got his hand caught in a mechanical rice picker.
Star Trek!
Yeah, references. Anyway.
Does it look like writing or possibly noble symbols?
It might be knowledge nobility. Yeah. You're getting closer.
See, I was gonna say that because
I can't do that.
we were in his
I
head
don't
and he had them.
18. You don't have a rank in it.
I can't.
18?
18, nobility.
You would imagine that there's something to do with hobgoblin nobility.
Havoc, you seem slightly more important than you let off to be.
Yeah, you missed a lot of backstory last session.
I know, I listened.
In my mind.
The god controlling hippocampus knows more than hippocampus does.
If we run into any other of my people, I would ask that you not mention it, and I would ask if you not mention my name.
You got it, Havoc.
What should we call it?
Okay, Steve.
Anything else?
So,
I'm gonna go with Steve.
as we're walking back,
You
and
can't think of
after,
anything better either. It's just like, and this is our friend Steve.
Steve.
It's like, that's not a hobgoblin name.
Sure it is.
so as we're walking back, and after I told them that I didn't ask for magic powers, I show them an Arcana mark on my arm. Like I roll up my sleeve, and I have like this weird Arcana mark that goes all the way down to my palm.
It's a swastika.
Yeah.
Wait, are we showing each other our marks? And I like start to ruffle.
I'm not even
he hasn't
No, I was.
arrived in the group yet.
I could have.
Yeah, but
I'm like, this is why I'm here in Porta Nova.
we'll say that you
Figure out
guys
what
like
this
run
is.
into each other as he's got like his arm out in your.
Yeah, so basically, from what I'm showing him, it's basically swirls all the way down my arm, and then in the middle of my palm it has like the seal of King Solomon on it.
Okay,
That's the only part I know.
neat. So it's sort of flowing fluid lines that are
Yeah, all the
soft-
way down.
soft
From,
curves.
it goes further up from what you can tell from the
Yeah.
sleeve, but you can from what I pull up on my arm, you can see the swirls down my one.
Mark of what?
King Solomon.
If you can make that out, if you know what that is.
With an Arcana 29, how much do I know about the mark? Do I know if the mark is... was it put on him magically?
I would assume so, right?
Yeah.
And is the mark itself magical, or is it like symbolic of somebody who is magical?
The mark itself was marked from it was symbolic of a king and everything that was a magical person, but from the seal doesn't look magical anymore, but the actual rest of it does.
Right. So it's a symbol of that denotes an important historical figure, and then the rest of it is in fact arcane marks,
Okay.
but not like the spell arcane marks.
You
You
got
just
that
cast
when
it
you
on
got
yourself.
that when you went into the Tower of Olin?
Yeah.
So?
Yep. It was basically when I got out of the tower, it all of a sudden appeared on me. And then I just kind of knew spells.
What tower?
Yeah, at this point, you guys.
I don't know
flash
what
back
the...
into
I was going to say, I don't know the name of the tower or where it came from.
What did you do there?
I don't like to talk about what I did in there.
The Black Sword.
Okay,
The black sword wasn't with me at that time.
Oh.
But when you came out, you had it, right?
Nope.
No.
The sword didn't appear to me until we started our journey.
Ah.
Fascinating.
I was like, oh,
It just appeared into my items
Okay, Sinbad.
one morning. Black sword outside. I didn't see that. It does.
Are there any
Your
stores
backstory
that sell
does.
paint?
Maybe. Yeah, but you can. There's probably paint in the general store, but like building paint.
I want to repaint my feathers.
You can still use. It's all paint. You're not going to find any specifically for your body.
No,
Make some.
I'm gonna do it.
You could probably find like a tattoo shop in the docks. 'Cause sailors.
Is there like some place where I can buy some carpentry supplies or some wood?
Cart your
Yes.
cheese around?
No.
Shipwright.
Yeah, there's a shipwright.
I just need a little bit of
So are you guys going to continue into the docks?
I'm just following them along. It's just it seems as though things are going slow, so I was just gonna go find some carpentry supplies and.
Yeah, it's like mid morning. You know.
So that festival, are we gonna check that out?
Yeah, do we get to drink?
That's not for like another day.
I know. So like, what's the deal?
Atlas takes a swig of his new whiskey. Oh, the festival's a lot of fun.
Several guards are like glaring at him as he goes by.
Well, are we gonna check that out, or do we have something else to do?
I mean, there's
We
not
need
like
to get
guards
up to
standing around. They're more like the
the
occasional
old town.
patrol.
I want to get to the old town. So
Well, if you want to wow someone from Old Town, they're going to be down here. Or they're not going to be down here necessarily, but they're going to be watching in the next couple of days over the festival.
Mostly on the barge floats they'll be.
We should have a float, right? Isn't that the best way to get close?
The bird has a point.
You want to build a float?
I am
I
a great
can't build a
painter.
he wants to get construction.
I can't swim. I don't want any part of this.
I put a lot of ranks into swimming
You
for this
recall
very
that the
long.
room filled with his fear was underwater.
I have a -3 to swim.
You can fly though.
I can't.
You have a -3 to swim. I have a -10.
You think you would have learned after your last character to actually not be
Yeah,
bad
right.
at swimming? You would think.
Armor checks double for swimming. I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
So what's our next plan?
Atlas, should we build a float?
I'm a professed. My profession is one of my crafts is carpentry.
You do have to get a voucher to send things down the river. You can't just throw any old garbage in the river. They don't like it when you do that.
Oh,
That's actually a different
Did I get more
holiday in the
cheese for
spring
sure?
where
When
you
you
put
saw the
little
marks?
boats in the river.
What?
I said, did I get more cheese when you saw my marks?
No, damn it. You
must have
weren't around me.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Nah, that's not interesting enough.
Okay.
Like you have to do something.
All right. I'll get this.
He's looking for verbs, damn it.
Verbs.
I'm looking for you to do something like take the
I got
collars
you.
out someone's nose without using a knife.
Whoa.
Like stuff.
You're sick.
Maybe not as violent.
You're sick, man.
He's a weird priest. Are you sure you're not part of the big?
Jesus Christ!
Are you sure you're not part of Rictus? You don't serve under Rictus, do you? They're a scary group of people.
My church is part of the Father Mel Court,
Just
Never
go
heard
with
of
the
it.
Great Elven Court.
Great Elven Court.
Yeah.
I'm only half. I don't know that.
Which parent?
I don't know my parents.
Is it a dominant gene?
I suppose every single human elf union that produces children produces a half elf.
Mother or father?
He's on the spot.
They never thought about it.
Genealogy is very important to us.
Gonna have to reset.
Father was an elf.
Ah,
Mother was human.
good, interesting.
Well, I want to go look at the elevators because those are the only way up, right?
Alright, yeah, so the way the elevators are incorporated into the cliff, they're actually the cliff overhangs the slopes, and about 1/3 of the way in, these elevators come through the bottom of the cliff, and then they stop about 10 feet off the ground and just sort of hover there. And beneath them, there is sort of a platform that has been built, and there's sort of this pressure there. So people don't really walk there; they try and stay away from there. There's sort of this heavy, almost like a fan or a magnet it just sort of presses out, and there's a slight breeze in all directions from there. And it's clearly some sort of magical device that's lifting up with this pillar, and also like this pillar, which is all made of like smooth marble going up, is inside which there's the elevator.
Pushing down. My hands grab me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go do some push-ups.
We need the guy who does all the
pull-ups. That's a really good idea, and Havoc joins you. You just start working out.
This is where you find Mofo, who's been training this whole time. Training this whole time.
He's just like,
get shredded.
98,001.
Yeah, I like that. Underneath each of these pillars is a gym.
I look at Alice. Alice, I can't believe I'm saying this. Where was the black market again?
He points towards
everywhere.
No, he points mostly just towards the soaps. It's hard for the mages to see what's directly underneath them, you know.
That's how we sneak.
I have an idea of how we get into Hightown.
Share.
Smugglers.
You're gonna smuggle us in?
Yeah.
It's got to exist.
You're gonna tell me these guys have been surviving just off of this? What is it called again? Soaps. This whole time without getting into Hightown? I don't believe it. They gotta have some smugglers.
There are some pretty foul people who live up there in Old Town, and I think they'll do anything for a couple gold coins. If it comes their way and they have the opportunity.
I think that might be our best bet in getting into Hightown.
Yeah, what are you going to do when you get up there? You know, you're going to
I'm
try
gonna-
to walk into the library. You got your library card there, buddy? I got my library card.
Yeah.
It expired
And
about
then
55 years
I
ago.
grab it and said, and guest. Went to the fine print.
Yeah, but it's still expired for 55 years.
I bet they got a guide in the black market that can get us a library card.
Oh no! I was like, someone have forgery or something. We could edit that document.
I can perfectly recount a painting.
He just paints the
That's not going to go away, by the way.
No, I know. I'm not there though, so I'm up doing push-ups in the
I still think that's our best bet, and I want to go see the church while I'm up there.
Well, you guys can try to request access up to Old Town.
Nah, because then they'll know our faces when they turn us away. By the way, Atlas, what are the possibilities of another Tengu being up there? How much of a disguise am I going to need?
Does Atlas know?
An invitation. She would need an invitation.
Yeah, I don't think Tengus are... So we've established that Tengus are like...
They are like the scummiest part of the slums, because people don't like them for no good reason. They basically just see them as nuisances, which so far has been
Because
quite
they
excellent.
squaw at 4 in the morning.
They squaw at 4 in the morning, you know.
Rub me
It's
the wrong way.
involuntary,
They just
guys.
guano all over the place.
Whoa! I'm clean. I preen 3 times a day.
I'm gonna go to the black market. To the best of
You
what...
can attempt to find a black market.
Yeah,
Make it,
I'm gonna make to the best of what Atlas told me on how to find it.
There's no like gather information on this still. I would say make a knowledge local check and then a diplomacy check to see if you can find.
I don't have either of those. I'm just going off of what he told me.
I can do it because the black market sounds pretty interesting. Who knows what's going to happen down there? I have diplomacy.
But you might get another
Alright,
piece
so
of cheese.
so make a
Atlas
much.
probably remembers the way. Probably.
Well, that's
So-
what I
so
mean.
give-
I'm just basing it off of his information.
Give them a local knowledge local.
Knowledge local is 18.
All right, that's pretty good. That'll give you a +3 bonus to your diplomacy check to find a way.
So 5 plus 7 is 12 plus 3 is 15.
15. That's not so bad. And let's see. You're wearing fancy clothes.
Yeah. I have fancy clothes. I'm not wearing them now. I can
so,
put them on.
So you should have got traveling clothes.
I'm basically wearing traveling clothes underneath my, I have a chain.
All right, so they're
shirt,
a bit
right?
suspicious of Zool. But
Well, I have my leather armor over.
yeah, and you're handing out cheese left and right, so they're not exactly carrying too much.
Yeah.
And you're directed to a a small tap house, and then a room in the back room, and then a secret room through there.
Okay.
And a very there's tieflings in Pathfinder, right?
Yeah.
but they're just like got like cat's eyes and fangs and like scales sometimes. Like it's more random. Like they don't all look the same, right?
No, they're kind of uniform. Like if they're in the monster manual.
I thought there was like a chart in Pathfinder of the stuff that tieflings have for mutations.
I don't know, maybe it is. I don't remember.
I think it was Pathfinder that had that. I don't know. There's a dude who looks kind of like a human, except he has vertical slits for his eyes and a forked tongue. And he's dressed all in black, and he's got a bandage that like goes over his nose, also black. And he like scutters out of a tunnel, almost sort of hunched over, and he unrolls a cloth with various syringes on it. He says, "What are you looking for?"
Oh, Jesus.
Careful, Wally. These guys are quick-witted.
Did you come with?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know if everybody came. Who came?
I came along.
Alice loves the black market.
So I think the three of us.
I'm kind of standing in the back a little bit, like you're talking to him. I'm standing in the back. I just want to see what's going to happen.
And he like taps one of the syringes, and it makes like a clear like bell sound.
I look at him and I hold him a couple of gold pieces. I'm like, "Are you the guy I want to talk to about smuggling me into Hightown?"
No, I'm not.
Who do I
I
want to talk
trying to sell you drugs.
But I can make you feel high, and we are the town.
to? Can you point me to a smuggler?
I've got
Still make it worth your while.
I've got a few contacts, but I won't give up names without money.
I yell over. It's like, Volley, you have to be more specific about your smuggling, because anybody can cheek anything.
Body.
Oh boy, it's happened. It's caught on.
Oh, man.
But I mean, it should be easy to smuggle.
Who'd be the hardest?
Fit in a crate.
Well, I'm trying to think to myself.
He rolls the syringe.
I look
He
back
starts
at
rolling the
Alice.
syringes back up. He's like, "You look familiar. Have I sold something to you before?"
He's like flashbacking to that one time in
Alice is
college.
just shaking his head.
I don't think so.
Well, would you care for something exquisite? And he lifts up one of the syringes, taps it again, makes a bell sound. It's filled with sort of a pale blue liquid.
What does that one do?
Oh,
I haven't tried the blue. I mean,
you might like this. This
Tried the blue red.
is pure arcane magic.
oh.
You don't care.
No.
This is premium shit.
Oh, I bet it is.
Shoot lightning out of your face.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you would be able to do that after you injected this.
Oh, after.
After, yes.
Only after.
Only after.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a whole 2 Arcana points. That's a bonus action.
I look at Alice and I go, "How many of us do you think we would need to get smuggled in?"
Just ignore the whole thing.
How many what?
What about
How many
this?
of us do you think we would
This
try
is-
to get smuggled into Hightown? I know
This is Black
Griff
Tiger.
wanted to go. I know Griff wanted to go for
We don't
sure.
want any.
He rolls. What about you, Elf?
What do you have? Something that makes someone go a little insane?
Oh my.
Jesus.
The red ones.
Key.
Yes, this. Yeah, they sell this in Florida.
Oh man!
Man, Florida's.
What does it do?
You guys keep changing your voice to match.
It's like
What
when
does it
someone's
do?
whispering and you whisper back, even though they're on the phone, so it's like you don't have to actually whisper to them.
Why are we whispering? No. Well, what does it do?
Oh, it'll make you rage. It's crazy, man.
How much?
Oh, the mere 200 gold pieces.
I'm good. You have a good day.
Look at his eyes.
He just rolls up the cloth with the syringes and he tucks it into his arm. He goes, "Oh, I think something pricked me." And he skulls away. Shuffling.
I still want
The heart attack.
I still want to know where the smuggler is.
Oh, he leaves.
I try to stop him and yell at him, "Wait, come back!"
Throw gold at him.
You're not buying anything.
I got 10 gold pieces for information.
Oh. Just like skulls backwards out.
You go down to the docks by the side of the river. Not the docks, by the side of the what do you call it? Harbor. No, fuck that place. You're looking for Riverside. It's hard to come up with stuff on the spot, especially in this voice. I'm just like, did you bring your asthma? Ask for a man by the name of Spellcraft. It's literally the first word that I saw on the back of this book. Spellcraft can get you in.
Yeah. I hand
But
him.
it won't be cheap.
It's fine. I give him 5 gold pieces, and I told him if his information's good, I will be back to give him the rest.
That's entirely fair.
It's not hardly fair.
I think it's pretty good money for a made-up thing right off the bat. I will be back.
Okay. I'll
Or
hold you to that.
or a
Quality. And
weasel.
he vanishes into the shadows.
That's fine. When you go find.
Oh!
Are you Spellcraft?
Yeah, the guy who named is just Atlas. Oh, that's right. I used to be Spellcraft. It's like Roger. Atlas is just everyone in town.
Boy, I hope the guy we go see isn't me again.
Damn it! Damn it, Roger. Alright. Well, I don't know what everybody else is doing, but I'm going to head to the docks.
I'm still at the elevator.
Hey, I don't know if you want to do them first while I'm on my way. I don't know if you guys are coming with me.
So,
That's the most interesting that's going on. I'm going with.
Interesting.
You have to do something interesting.
I just got information. That was pretty interesting.
That's not very
You should have
interesting.
shut up, man. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I would have given you something interesting.
It's not interesting for 200
Shoot
gold
lightning out of
pieces.
your face.
Not for 200 gold pieces.
I'm waiting for something for you to do something interesting.
I don't know what you guys are doing. You can go back to them if you want.
So you're essentially the kid from Incredibles.
We haven't seen the movie, no spoilers.
Yeah,
What?
The first
Oh,
one.
the first one?
the first one was like,
The baby or the...
I don't know, something amazing, I guess.
Oh, that's
So, well, I'm not going to reveal too much about myself, but not quite.
For a holy man, he seems quite secretive.
yeah. We did a bunch of soul searching
Well,
last time.
I just met you guys.
Huh?
Secret as fuck.
You wouldn't even say a secret to get in the door.
I did say a secret. What are you talking about?
In
I said a
another
lot of
language is a
You didn't say secret.
Yes, I did. You don't know whose voice it is. I let him
They
take
know.
over my body. It came through my...
Yeah, it said I'm gonna do whatever.
In any case,
Carry on.
well, hang on, I gotta go back to my regular voice.
You weren't even there. You don't know.
In any case, so you're going to you're looking for a building called Dockside along the river. It's a bit of slow going because you're in the soaks, which is kind of rough travel in the beginning, and it's also midday, so people are out and about.
Yeah.
And you gotta find a way to surreptitiously bring up the name Spellcraft in this place. Does anybody else want to do anything else on your way, or are you all kind of going together?
I mean, it's only us
I think
three.
Griffin and
These-
Havoc
they're-
are working out under the one of the lifts.
I was going to say, it's only
I'm
us
with
three
Griffin and
currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you working out, or are you like?
He's just studying the male form.
He's got like the Vitruvian drawing. Vitruvian man.
I have little finger weights. Like practice
Surgeons.
stuck to his hands.
It's like he's got... It's like there's stuff that's holding his skin together, so he's like stretching his mind.
What kind of weapon did you want to learn?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I just wanted to know.
Because Havoc knows a bunch of martial weapons that he could teach you a little bit if you were interested.
So that would be cool.
Would you
So we're
my
kind of like
whip?
talking about it while we're working out.
Yeah.
Look, I'm spotting him.
It's
We got prison yard. Our all set.
It's like, now, if you're going for real power, you want a great sword.
Would you like to try my skizzer? Here, just slide it right on.
And he's not wearing his scissor at the moment. He's not even carrying it. It's on. I guess you guys have been walking around with all your stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's on his yak.
Basically,
Who's also like sort of bobbing up and down, kind of like doing push-ups.
leg
almost.
squats or something. I'm not working out. Is there a nearby alchemy store I could pop into?
I think they were just at it.
the drug deal?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Actually, yeah.
Oh man, I wouldn't buy elk.
Probably a longsword.
Probably a longsword. Yeah. So he starts giving you pointers. You're not going to learn it anytime soon, but you're starting.
You want to hit him with a pointy.
Oh, let's talk about the handshake grip, how to properly have a sword. You want to wield it like a willow whip, not like a hammer, stuff like that. I know an autistic amount of stuff about swords. In any case, so you're looking for an alchemy shop, Morgan. Make a knowledge local check and see if you happen upon one.
God, she's gonna get lost.
We have successfully split the party.
Hey, I said I was going.
That'll do. Yes, you wander into sort of a low-scale alchemist shop that mostly sells alchemist kindness, which is an instant cure for hangovers.
What else do they sell?
Pretty good stuff.
They sell tinder twigs, which are essentially matches. They sell smoke sticks. They smell. They smell.
They smell wonderful.
Some more mundane stuff that's just like like cooking herbs and things like that. There's a back room in which a man with vertical slits sits holding a bundle of cloth in his arms dejectedly.
He's like rocking back and forth because he just got snapped.
He's like he's got like a dowel of wood in his mouth that he's grinding on, just trying to make it through. And there's some various unlabeled potions.
Do any of these potions look harmful but are harmless?
You need to make a craft alchemy check to find out.
Oh, fabulous. I'm specializing in that. Dang it, I rolled low though. 13.
13, okay. You are pretty sure that most of these look harmless and are dangerous, as opposed to the other way around.
Okay.
The most harmless would probably induce vomiting.
Would any of these make you look
Sick.
Yes.
The one that induces vomiting would make you look sick.
Okay, how many of those are there?
You could probably get 5
I'll take it.
for about twice as much gold. So like 10 gold for the 5 of them.
Great, I'll do it.
And they will.
And there's
it's
5.
it's a movement action to drink one of these things, and they will cause you to be nauseated for 2 rounds.
Induce vomiting. 2 rounds. Great. And how much gold? 10.
10.
Huh.
Yeah. Anybody else want to do anything else? Or are we just going to go straight on to courtside?
I'm not there, so.
Alright, so...
You just keep pumping those weights.
Well, one more thing. Are there any, like they produce light at night,
like torches?
Yes, along the sides of the roads.
There's street lamps.
Are they actually powered in Motown?
Yeah, most of them are
they
broken. You assume they may have been oil at one point?
Is there any charcoal in them?
No.
Okay.
Right, so you eventually find Portside, which is a brothel, because this is a shitty part of town.
I'm glad you guys went.
Good times.
It's it's got a neon sign out front that says "Girls, Girls, Girls."
I'm gonna be like, he wasn't kidding about costing me money.
Do you go inside or do you want to hold off?
What time of day is it?
It's like noon.
Yeah, I'll go in because it's probably not that busy right now.
Time to go.
I kind of got the sign go. Human rituals over here. Human mating rituals. All right.
There's humans, elves, half orcs. There's tieflings. There's 1 or 2 gnomes. There's like.
It's the world's oldest.
There's Tengu. There's a lot going on in here.
There's time travel experience. You were.
Ories are the funniest strippers.
Where?
Ories.
Oh yeah, there's a few Orieds who have chiseled bodies. The stone people.
I guess I'm
There's something for everyone. They look like marble statues, actually. You're beset on all sides by the erotic, which I will try not to describe too much.
Okay.
Come on, Polly. You know what you're looking for.